You know, we get a lot of flack as content creators for doing stuff like this, but what are we supposed to do? If I don't say anything, that's being insensitive. If I do say something, I'm just taking advantage of it. So this video right here, for the purpose of that, it's not gonna be monetized at all. No gimmicks, no tricks. It's the least I can do in this space. Okay, so let me be honest here. Let me begin by saying that I probably was overly critical of Virgil Abloh. It's super easy to be revisionist and act like I loved every work that he did, when clearly that's not true. That's just untrue. It's also easy to point the finger at me and say I was wrong for doing it now that he's passed. But I do no justice to any creative, let alone Virgil, if I'm a complete yes man and never gave alternate perspective. Do it injustice. But to be honest, there were times I was so harsh because it seemed that the whole world refused to look at the man objectively and gave him a pass where they would not others. But it wasn't about him. It was because of my never-ending battle against hype and hyper-consumerism. Hype that people often equate with genius or worth. In hindsight, I wrongly attached that ire to Virgil Abloh, no matter how poignant my points were or could have been. My cynicism of the industry and contemporary culture at large got the best of me, so any nuance was lost the minute Virgil was critiqued, even a bit unfairly. And I'm not gonna pretend that it wasn't. But that being said, I do not take back my opinions. Like I said, I'm not going to be a revisionist here. Instead, what I will say is, I wish I had known more. Because through it all, I low-key respected Virgil Abloh a great deal. The life he built, the people he nurtured and worked with. He was incredibly brilliant and an open individual. So it's with a heavy heart that I say rest in power to him. Through the pain he endured secretly, no less, since being diagnosed with cancer in 2019, I realize now Abloh knew he was on borrowed time. The man was literally crunching in years with the amount of time that he had left. And I respect that most. We should all learn something from that. He did more than most of us could do in 2 lifetimes, and I guess you could say some of us, even myself, were a bit jealous of his position. But now there's no reason to be. He truly was doing it for the people who admired him. Abloh was likely so conscious of his market influence that he didn't even tell anyone he was sick. He didn't want sympathy. He wanted people to see it could be done. He wanted to be an inspiration, which is awesome. I mean, what could he have done if he had the time? My thoughts just race at the possibilities. But that's it, we won't ever know, at least not in this lifetime. So instead, we reflect on what he did by the relatively young age of 41. From working with Kanye, starting Pyrex, Bentro Off-White, to collabing with Nike, IKEA, Takashi Murakami, Hiroshi Fujiwara, to becoming the men's artistic director of Louis Vuitton. To putting on countless creatives and building bridges into fashion many never could have even seen happening. And that's just scratching the surface. Yes, Virgil was human. He had his quirks, he had his faults and his tendencies, like all of us do. Kind of made us tilt our head sometimes. But that just reminded us that he is human, because so much of what he did was larger than life. So let me say this. I don't actually miss talking about you, dude. You made fashion incredibly exciting, but mostly because you opened the doors and let people eat at the table. And no one can deny that. And now it's up to us, all of us, to keep those doors wide open that you held open for so many years. I personally will not squander that gift that you gave, no matter if it was intentional or not. But all the signs point to that it was intentional, all of it. It was intentional, you meant to do it. So eternal respect, truly. I wish we could have had the time to sit down and talk, but that reminds me, and it should remind all of us, that if we want to talk to heroes, we must become heroes ourselves, in some capacity. And you were a hero, Virgil. You still are. And now that title will never be taken away from you. So my condolences go out to your family, friends, and of course your fans. And also thank you for helping me be better. That being said, we will not let you down, I promise. Now rest easy. I'm absolutely sure we got this. All of us, not just